Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to PMG broadcast of SKABA Premier Division game. St. Paul's Tuff versus Rams Hitters.
And we're in for a treat, seeing that both teams are currently undefeated, and based on the format of this year's tournament, where it's just a best record takes all in terms of the championship, one would think that in these waning parts of the season, where only a few games are to be played, that the winner of this particular matchup would probably be crowned the SKABA 2021 champions.
That's definitely right. Definitely an interesting format to the season. What are the consequences for the other team, though, if they don't come out on top tonight?
Well, I think based on the schedule that one would have to hope that the loser of this match loses another game. But at the same time, I think the best they would hope for is a tie. And then because of the format of the rules this year, ties would be decided by head-to-head matchups.
Okay.
Meaning that really and truly the winner of this game
Could potentially win it all tonight.
most likely will be the champions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back as soon as we get ready for tip-off and get on with the action for the season.
Refer to it.
Makes life again. You got a number for Glenn? Send him a copy of the link.
This guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again we're back with you. Basketball City Bastard St. Kitts. Time's winding down. Almost ready to start this one. Big game in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Both undefeated teams in the league this season. St. Paul Tuff Nuts. Rams hitters.
And the stadium is pretty full tonight.
Yeah, people have come out.
I guess a lot of people came out expecting a good matchup. And, significant stakes at hand.
Yeah, definitely.
So a lot to play for, and you can see that both teams are looking very, very, very focused.
There's a lot of activity at the officials' table right now, so it looks like they're sorting that stuff out to get the roster set and the starting lineup set.
Definitely.
Once again, we'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. Get to start late. That too. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, look what you're about to get started here at Basketball City. Both teams have cleared the court. And it looks like we're about to get set to head to tip-off. Once again, we have St. Paul's Tuff coming up against Rams Hitters. Both teams are undefeated for the season. And this looks like it might end up being what could amount to the championship game. As whoever comes out with the better record in the season would most definitely be one of these teams tonight.
Yeah, and although the teams have cleared the court, they're still semi-warming up. Not exactly sure what's happening. We have all officials in their position.
Right.
Still seems to be a little bit of mixing, matching organization going on that's atypical as far as I know. Maybe a little bit of nerves.
Could be.
Causing that.
Could be. I mean, there's a lot at stake in the game tonight.
Yeah,
not to mention, we did see a bit of dare I say, a conference earlier.
Yeah.
With quite a few SKABA officials and the coach for Hitters.
Right, so it seemed as though Glenn Phillip, the Hitters bench boss, was in a huddle with the games commissioner, the assistant games commissioner, the vice president, officials, over what could have been some type of
lineup,
some type of altercation that happened a few games ago, perhaps. But whatever it was, seems to have been resolved now, and the teams are gathering now to receive their last bit of instruction and do their chants.
Yep. I realize we didn't introduce ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gavin Bell. My co-commentators tonight is Barry Trotman, and we'll be giving you play-by-play and a little color commentary tonight, taking you through tonight's game as best we could.
Yep. Buckle up, it should be fun. Definitely competitive.
At least intense. Yeah.
Yes, definitely
Promises to be a hell of a match.
And the starting five lineup for Rams Hitters seems to be Taslin Belboda, number 2, Darrell Lewis, Ansel Revan, Tyrone Hutchinson, and Kimo Library. For the Tough Knots, Nashawn and Naren Maynard, 2 brothers.
Twin Towers, as you like to call them.
Yeah, the Twin Towers, of course. Clayton Powell, Odd Ansel, Jovet Leader, and Karis Douglas, who is just returning from a long injury. He was one of their key players when they won 3 straight championships, meaning Karis Douglas. And he is just coming back. Still working his way back. Came off the bench in the last game, and he's making the big start tonight. I guess that's all trust.
Yes, very much. That's all right. All right, folks, here we go. Ready for tip-off. And away we go.
And Tough Knots controls the tip-off. Shooting guard Jovet Leader sends it into Nashawn Maynard and rebounds the ball, picks up an early offensive rebound, and all of a sudden he's fouled. This is going to be a recurring theme tonight between Naren and Nashawn Maynard. They probably average between 30-35 rebounds a game.
You would expect that from the 2 experienced players on the Tough Knots team.
Right, and I expect that this game is going to be won and lost in the paint tonight, as Maynard misses his first free throw. Splits him, and Hitters control with their first offensive possession, brought up by Belboda, early miss by Hutchinson for the free.
It always, baffles me why we tend to settle for the outside jumpers, especially when Tough Knight's giving up the tough. 2 points there.
Right, missed by Douglas. And Rival attacking the paint, scores, plus the foul.
Yeah, I was saying it's a wonder to me why we tend to give up the outside shot more when the extra pass and slowing down the game a little bit more usually lead to higher percentage shots. But I mean, shoot it while you got it, I guess.
Definitely, and Hitters is a good passing team. They shoot a high volume of threes. The signature defensive point of reference is a trap which they're seeming to put on right now. And this is going to be a big test to see if Tough Knots could get over the half. And it's going to be a big test to see whether Maynard could handle the task of bringing up the ball, rebounding, and still scoring in the paint. But he does so pretty well there, as Douglas was an easy 2. And it's a scrap for the ball.
Looks like we went
jump ball.
Yeah, jump ball situation. Going up would be
Hitters, I would think would.
And 24 for Hitters. Or
Well,
no, they decided to take
possession,
from the side.
right. So
Raven.
we would know that in FIBA rules, the possession is alternated for jump balls. And Sempal is one tip situation, meaning Hitters will control, as Revan is slightly off for that mid-range jumper. And Douglas controls. Tough mid-range jumper there by Leader. He gets the offensive rebound, dishes it to Douglas again. 2 is short. Controlled by Lyman and Hutchison. Here we go in transition. Foul.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a very live arena. And we're pretty much deep inside the audience. So
I love it. The fans are animated tonight.
animated, active, and letting it all hang out.
Right. And Hutchison misses his first free throw. That's going to be important tonight. Who's going to make their free throws? We had 3 early fouls within the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And that might be a theme that comes up more often than not tonight. It's free throw shooting.
More
and
than
fouls.
expected to be a scrappy game. So
Right.
it might come down to who could afford to give up that foul later down in the game.
And an early turnover by Tough Knots. Hitters in the transition. Hutchison is driving and makes an incredibly tough fadeaway layup there.
Right on the baseline.
2. And how Hitters play, they know that they're going to give up a lot of easy lay-ins, but they're betting that they're going to win the turnover battle.
Right.
Turnover battle.
Especially with again, what you pointed out earlier, the vintage Hitters strategy of pressing early, pressing long for the entire game.
Yeah.
Let's see if Tough Knight can break the press and turn that into some transition buckets or something.
Yeah, Hitters is a guard-heavy team, and they're in good physical condition. So they press often, and they're very effective at it. They also shoot a lot of threes, which we haven't seen much yet, but we'll see if they'll uncork a bit in that respect as the game progresses. But Hitters controls here.
Here we go.
And Tazin Boda right on cue. Nails a three.
He was at least 5 feet behind the line just now.
Yep. And he's one of the best.
Transition, 2 buckets, although that's been called back.
And he's one of the best shooters in the country. Bell Border is. Naturally easy conversion, and it seems that the referee is cautioning them from leaving the basketball.
Yep.
So a little warning there. Next probably will be a technical over Bell Border controls. And drives, nothing doing, gets it to Lewis. Revan mid-range jumper won't go. Rebound by the other man, Naren.
That's always been an interesting situation Nash finds himself in.
As they sort of point forward.
A point forward, yeah, you don't see it much. And it's definitely a position he seems to relish in.
Yeah, he likes the ball in his hands.
Winners do.
He likes the ball in his hands. And again, right on cue is foul. I think, as far as I can see, he probably leads the league in free throw attempts. And if you're paying attention, it's easy to see why.
Yes. Yes.
He relishes the contact in the back.
Back to the line. Sinks the first.
Ian, block on, make the next one, please. Nash, I'm begging you hard. Ian, don't block and sit down. I'm going to sit down and stop teaching what they do. Good boy. Let's go. Let's go, Sam. Come on, sit with him. Don't let him you.
He just brings on the ball. Raven trying to find a partner to pass to.
Right, and Lewis uncorks a three, a little bit off, and rebound is controlled by Michonne Bernard. Deflects off Hutchison, it seems, and the Tuff Knots control in their own front court. Ooh, and it seems as though the official seemingly missed a foul there, but nevertheless, the game continues and it's transition again. Ball deflects off Hutchison, and what I said, ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie.
Tuff Knot control. And the answer, as they call him, attacks the paint, easy dump off, two, Naren Maynard for the easy two. Belborder controls. And then corks another three, which is a bit short. And rebound there is vacuuming by Naren. Nashon attacking the basket as per usual. Too strong there, collected by Lewis. Gets it to Belborder, back to Lewis. Mid-range two is short. Collected again by Naren Maynard.
It's a last hat for the mid-range jumper.
Yep, but very important, as both teams are going to try to pack the paint as Lewis controls, just returning from an injury, and picks up a foul. Much to the chagrin of the St. Paul's Tuff Knots defenders.
Tuff Knots still up though by 3 points. Score is 8-11 in favor of St. Paul's. He just heads to the line.
In and out from Lewis on the first free throw. And goes for the second one, misses both. Rebounded by Maynard. Naren tries to pass, but too strong. And an unforced turnover there as far as I'm concerned. It's a tight game. 5 minutes, 18 seconds left, and it's 8-11. So certainly not an offensive display.
Oh no, definitely.
By any stretch of the imagination.
A defensive favored game.
Yeah, and as they say, defense win championship, yes?
And we're looking at what might turn out to be the championship game right here tonight. That's how they're going to call that one.
And there's a foul call and answer on Kimmo Liebert, and the frustration is building by the St. Paul's Tuff Knots. Seem that they're feeling like they're getting the short end of the whistle here. So, first substitution of the game, George Gayton subs in as Clayton Powell is in early foul trouble, picking up 2 in the first quarter. That could be a story here as the game continues. Gayton, in my opinion, is the best backup point guard in the league.
So, possibly six man of the year.
And he was a starter for many years with the now defunct Fig Tree Revelers. And I would believe he recently played for the Newton Ground Blazers at some point. And tough foul there. Liebert on Maynard. Basketball foul. Nothing malicious there as far as I know. Up fake.
Maynard most definitely is not taking that. Laying down.
Right, he's not taking it lightly, but he's not happy, but I don't see anything malicious there. Just a
like
good
we
up
have a
fake and a good move.
First time out.
First time out of the game by the hitters, and maybe the bench boss senses that his teams need to collect themselves.
Yeah, once again, folks, we have a pretty interesting thing as we see Maynard pleading his case to the refs.
And he's, I think, officially designated the captain of the St. Paul's Tough Knots, which allows him a little bit more rope to be able to
plead his case.
Plead his case to the officials, and it seems as though they hear him out to some extent, without, getting real stern with him.
Too much follow.
Yeah, without too much follow.
Ball's back on the baseline, and we restart the first quarter. Maynard heads to the line, shooting 2. Air ball's the first.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic.
As I said,
uncharacteristic. You think that collision shook him up a little bit?
I don't know, maybe he broke his concentration more than anything else. But as I said, free throws are going to be extremely critical in this particular game. And splits pair.
Seems to be a trend for him tonight.
Sean Forbes, long-time hitter, checks in for the first time. And right on cue, pulls for the middle on Maynard, who does what he does, push the ball in transition, collected by Hutchinson.
Already back on defense, Maynard.
And we're going back and forth here. Forbes misses again. Controlled in the front court here by Douglas, who attacks and pulls for a little mid-range jumper off glass. It's good.
If you realize hitters seems to have started to press, I think they've recognized that that's not necessarily going to be the best tactic against Tough Knots tonight.
And I'm a bit surprised by that, because you would think that they would be trying to play a more up and down game as their guards are a better part of their team in terms of offensively.
On top of that, it was actually working for them earlier in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I would think that they would want to speed up the game, but Philip, the hitters coach, has different ideas. Belboda pulls an easy corner 3, books it.
Hitters climb back 11 to 14.
Yep, and Gayton controls, pulls up his dribble a bit early, curiously, but controls again from the half-court circle. Off the glass again, Douglas, just a bit too strong, controlled by Belboda. Goes in transition. Sean Forbes kicks it back out. And mid-range jumper by Revan. They're giving him that all night. Open for a reason, perhaps.
Perhaps, like we discussed earlier, the last start of the mid-range jumper. Tough Knots taking the time, developing
taking the time.
The Maynard backs him down, turns, shoots.
Mid-range, fadeaway jumper. Too strong by Nashawan. Tries to feed it to Lewis, but
again, characteristic.
Maynard intercepts it and it's deflected by Belboda, but
very characteristic of Maynard. Misses the shot, he's already back on defense and comes up with the turnover, the steal. Tough Knots bring it back in. Doesn't seem like it's on. Gotta wait for the referees with it.
Josette Francis is out of the game, and Josette Leader, checked out. Rondell Francis checks in. And that's Sean Maynard doing yeoman's work in the paint. And that's his game, man.
Very much so.
That's his game. Belboda unloads another 3. And it's off.
Not this time.
Not this time.
St. Paul's brings it back up again. Taking their time.
Douglas is open all the time on his left-hand side, and he's getting to his spots rather easily.
Yeah, there seems to be a a flaw in the hitters' defense tonight on the right hand side.
Well, you gotta give up something, right?
Indeed.
And they see
Just like that turnover.
Leaving leader open. And too strong by Francis for the little mid-ranger. Delboda. Mid-range transition crossover, but couldn't book the mid-range jumper.
Wow.
Controls again by the Tuff Knots. Francis controls again. And 15 seconds on the shot clock to play.
Yeah, I think St. Paul's is even crept into a scenario where they're trying to burn off a little clock, even as early as this.
Yeah, slow going tonight.
Looks like we have a timeout from...
I think it's a substitution.
Oh, substitution, my mistake.
Yes, and
Hitters makes their first substitution.
And Jason Jarvis checks in for St. Paul.
Inside a minute left to go in the first.
Right.
Hitters brings the balls now.
Right. And Ray Lady has checked in for hitters as well. He's one-time great 3-point shooter. And maybe Tyrell Hutchison is a little jealous of that as he uncorks a 3 and hits. Steal by Revan in forecourt and collects a foul. Jason Shadow Jarvis doing what he does. Known as a little bit of a hack man, but everybody has their role.
Everybody definitely has a role to play. I mean, enforcers can be a big part of a team.
And Revan at the charity stripe.
Shooting 2.
And collects the first free throw.
That makes it 15-18 to Tuff Knots.
Eight fouls so far in this first quarter, which is a lot.
And so misses this.
And Gayton attacks in transition.
Looking for the blocking, didn't get it.
Looking for the block foul, yep. Controlled by Francis, who's a solid backup shooting guard.
Tuff Knots using that half-court offense to burn that some time off the clock.
And I think
before the buzzer.
I think the official. And there seems to be a little bit of confusion here between the players and the officials. And I'm trying to figure out what's the call here.
I think there was some confusion based on the shot clock that seemed to stop the play.
And there's a bit of confusion here. The officials seem to be giving hitters the ball, and whatever is the situation, the officiating crew needs to come together and really sort this one out.
It was really, I mean, the situation's kind of tense out here tonight, so
yeah,
we don't want things to go anywhere near where they could possibly go.
As I say, it's a big game. Emotions tend to run high in environments such as these. Although we don't have a playoffs, it is a playoff atmosphere.
Very much so.
And officials need to make sure they take command of the game early and don't let it slip away.
Fun fact to the listeners out there, the reason why my co-host can so ably break down the game too so well is because he himself was an official for quite some time.
That's what they say. That's what they say. And Jason Jarvis attacks in the paint, a mid-range fadeaway. Jay looking for a foul, doesn't get it, and that's the first quarter,
End of the
ladies
first quarter.
and gentlemen.
There you have it, you have Tuff Knots up 3 points, 18-15 on this Sunday evening here at Basketball City. So the first quarter in the books, what do we take away?
Well, bit of a nervy game. I expected a bit more 3-point shooting from hitters, although there was a little bit more than a typical SKABA team would have, not as much as they usually should. They're usually about 40% of their shots tend to be threes. St. Paul's is controlling the pace of the game, and right now it favors them, definitely. We'd see that it'll be probably a war of will tonight.
Very much so. I think Tuff Hitters came in with, I think, what was their standard game plan in the press. It worked heading into the first couple of minutes of the first quarter. Unfortunately for them, Tuff were able to break the press pretty easily and manage to get out in front and stay out in front. Hitters don't seem to be the settled team as they usually are. Like you mentioned, their shooting hasn't really come on track tonight. But it's still early. There's a lot of time left to play.
And additionally, the game at the pace really favors St. Paul's because Hitters is a high-scoring, high-flying outfit. They lead the league in points scored. They lead the league in point differential. And they average between 90 and 110 points a game. And they only picked up 15 in the opening 10 minutes. So that's a big story so far.
Right.
And this is the kind of game that St. Paul's like slow, grind it out, get it into the bigs. Not a great shooting team, but they collect a ton of offensive rebound. They wear you down over the course of the game. And battling with big Nashon Maynard is a tough, difficult
for anybody,
task
for any
mere mortal.
And we're about to start the second quarter. Looks like St. Paul's have made some adjustments on the floor.
And Glenn Phillip, the Hitters boss, calls for early zone defense.
Again, uncharacteristic of a traditional Hitters team, but got to pull out all the stops tonight, I guess.
And it's chess, man. Bit of gamemanship. Seems as though the head official is checking something at the desk, delaying the start of the game.
Meanwhile, Coach Phillip, taking his usual match, back and forth.
Very animated on the sidelines, yeah. Very animated on the sidelines all the time. Hitters, curiously, doesn't seem to have an actual coach. St. Paul's don't seem to actually have a coach.
Well, I think
they do this thing where it's a player coach.
Player coach. I think you could call Nashon Maynard player coach for St. Paul's.
But they're an experienced team, and I said they probably won about 4 championships in the last 10 years as Gayton nails the mid-range jig. Hutchison control up top.
I don't know if the audience can hear, but just now Mashan was marshalling his forces.
It seems they're running a play here. And drives by Hutchison, but he's called for the travel. No, St. Paul's tends to play big, but no, they're playing with 3 guards. As Nashon Maynard drives, does what he does, and collects a foul. But it doesn't seem to be a shooting foul, and they're inbound from the sideline. Seems as though they're trying to get it to Nashon. He's being double teamed, fake by Francis, and Gayton with quite an obvious try.
That's a surprising call coming from the officials. You don't usually get that much attention on traveling these days. As Gayton brings it down, puts it up, scores an easy 2 in transition.
A very good, very good 2. The one time when Gayton could have collected the ball from his own front court, take 4 dribbles and be at the rim. But he's a little bit
more evolved.
Yeah.
More evolved as a player.
and by that we mean old.
Looks like we're going to have another substitution for Tuff Knots.
Still in good shape though.
They're third for the evening.
Right. And Answer checks back in.
Is 22-17 in favor of Tuff Knots. That's St. Paul's for the uninitiated.
Gayton looks a little nervy here. Not quite sure what's going on, but makes a good move there with an easy floater in the middle of the lane. And he's going to be key for them, it seems. Has a early 6 points.
Yeah, definitely turning out to be one of the
And
go-to options for the offense tonight.
They need the offensive scoring and way off. The three by Hutchison. Gayton crosses over, attacks the basket, tries to pass it to no one, and a bit of a scrappy situation there, but hitters corral the possession.
Yeah, he tried to make a surprise steal there on the inbound, but didn't happen.
And Belboda passes it to Hutchison, who drives and swings it to Ray Liddy, who off the mat from three.
Am I right or am I right? Is hitters living and dying by the three-pointer tonight?
Well, that's the game, man. And they've done it to great effect so far in the season as they haven't lost the game.
Nash, wow.
Another offensive rebound, shoot it, hoop and the ham.
Surrounded by players, what a move.
He has to fix his headband from the fall and tie his shoelace where he's at the charity stripe for the three-point play opportunity.
Indeed. He's about, I think, 45% tonight.
Something like that. And pure deal, complete the three-point play. And substitution.
Once again,
from
the hitters team.
Hitters. Hutchison takes a seat for the first time tonight. And Atamba Williams checked in, but Ray Liddy is at the line seeking to get 2 freebies here.
Once again, folks, there's a 10-point lead for the St. Paul's Tough Nuts as Liddy lines up. Bricks the first. Bricks the first, waits the second.
Ten-point lead just like that. 17 points to 13 minutes. And he misses the second.
Ladies and gentlemen, the broadcast tonight is brought to you by Pelican Media Group as Liddy hits the second.
Third.
The third, sorry.
Yeah, so the three-point play opportunity, hits 1 of 3. Big opportunity missed there, especially given the score. Nashar Maynard passes to Jarvis for an early 2, or easy 2 rather, but he just misses a bunny there. Maybe a bit of nerves.
Nash getting back and being able to create a turnover.
And the official says it is a double dribble.
Wow.
Turnover by Gayton, turnover by Tough Nuts.
And it looks like we have a
seems as though Tough Nuts call it timeout.
Things get rough. Yeah, that's the. Our cameraman tonight is asking me about some of the audience and how lively they are, and some of the antics that's been happening. And I just have to tell you, that's part of the allure of action at Basketball City.
This is Basketball City, man, where anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Somebody might run onto the court during the middle of the game. The officials might be refereeing with a gun, you know what I mean, in the pocket. These are some of the things that we see from time to time, and all of these are true stories.
True story. Historical perspective.
True
As
story.
we start the game again.
And Belboda controls here out of the timeout. Gets it to Rivan in the mid post. A little give and go for an easy mid-range jumper, but it won't go. And the Tough Nuts control. Gets it to, guess who? Maynard again attacking the paint to his brother. And another easy 2 in transition. The border controls again. Another problem that the hitters seem to be having is that they're not getting any second chance points, whereas Tough Nuts
seem to be capitalizing on every fast break opportunity that they get.
And getting
turnovers like this one again.
And I think it would be best if hitters want to talk it over here.
Yeah. Most definitely hitters with a timeout.
And the Tough Knots have opened up a 17 point
Yeah.
lead? Oh, 15
Sorry,
point
15,
lead?
15 point lead.
Yeah. Sorry, folks. Math wasn't my strong point, you know?
As referee Floyd blows back on the game. St. Paul's and Hitters retake court. About a little over 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter. At what should be a very, very interesting game, folks.
Liddy passes to Hutchinson, fakes the three, attacks the paint, throws it to Atamba. And Belboda with a mid-range J off the glass. Too strong again. He's getting that mid-range jumper all night, but it's just